Alright, listen up, peasants. It's time for another episode of the Crabby Tabby Report, where we talk about news, nonsense, and why Canadians are suddenly holding hands and singing Kumbaya. That's right, folks, Canada is more united than ever, and you know what did it? An economic war with the United States. Because nothing brings people together like a common enemy. For decades, we've politely tolerated the USA treating Canada like its quiet upstairs neighbor. They steal our actors, overcharge us for their products, and act shocked when we don't want to be them. But now, the economic gloves are off. Canada is done being nice, and we are standing together in a way we haven't seen in years. So, here's what happened. The USA started playing dirty with its economic policies, slapping tariffs on Canadian exports, prioritizing Buy American policies, and trying to cut us out of major supply chains. The idea was to weaken Canada's economy and make us more dependent on the US. But instead, it backfired spectacularly. See, what the USA forgot is that Canada isn't just a big frozen suburb of America. We have resources they desperately need, like oil, lumber, and literally half the world's maple syrup supply. We also have a tight-knit economy with Europe and Asia that we're now doubling down on. And most importantly, we have a national instinct to rally together when someone messes with us. The result? Canada is doubling down on Buy Canadian like never before. People who never cared about shopping local are suddenly reading labels. The lumber industry, the auto sector, even the dairy farmers, everyone is standing together. We may be polite, but mess with our economy. You'll find out just how passive-aggressive we can be. And while we're talking about it, let's address the elephant in the room. The USA seems to think that deep down, Canada secretly wants to be American. Let me be very, very clear. We absolutely do not. Let's break this down. Healthcare. We don't pay thousands of dollars just to see a doctor. If we break a leg, our first thought isn't, will this bankrupt me? It's, guess I won't be shoveling the driveway for a while. Guns. Americans treat guns like accessories. Canadians? We treat them like tools for hunting, not something to stockpile like doomsday preppers. Education. Our universities don't leave students drowning in debt for 20 years. If you hear a Canadian complaining about tuition, just know that it's still a fraction of what Americans pay. Work culture. Americans glorify hustle culture, 60-hour workweeks, and never taking vacations. Meanwhile, in Canada, we will apologize for working overtime. And honestly, we like it that way. What makes Canada? Canada. So, what makes Canada actually different? It's not just about what we have, it's about how we think. We value community over individualism. We believe in helping our neighbors instead of survival of the fittest. And most importantly, we know that being polite doesn't mean we're weak, it means we're strong enough to not need to scream all the time. Now, does this mean we think we're perfect? Absolutely not. Canada has plenty of problems, we just happen to deal with them in a way that doesn't involve storming government buildings in costumes. Even the most apathetic Canadians are getting fired up. If the USA's goal was to weaken Canada, congratulations, they've done the exact opposite. Instead of making us dependent, they made us more independent. And that, my dear humans, is something worth celebrating. So, moral of the story? Canada is not breaking apart. We're stronger than ever. We don't want to be American, we're not buying their nonsense, and if they keep trying to mess with us, well, let's just say we'll be politely furious. Like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's your favorite thing about not being American? I'll see you in the next one, unless I'm napping. You know, work-life balance and all that important stuff.